Hello, it's me again, Mrs. Mills, your English instructor for American Literature, and this week we are talking about Ernest Hemingway and William Faulkner. So if you go to the weekly folder, you will find the pieces you are instructed to read. Barn Burning by William Faulkner is located in the book. Ernest Hemingway is also located in the book, but I wanted you to read two short stories that are not in the text. You don't have to buy this book, as you know, but I have provided links, one for A Clean and Well-Lighted Place and a PDF version for The Killers. The PowerPoint on Ernest Hemingway involves another story, which is called In Another Country. That's just included in the PowerPoint if you're interested. You don't have to read In Another Country, but it's a very interesting piece, just like The Killers and A Clean and Well-Lighted Place. All right, so I hope you enjoy these readings, and they're for the modern version of the class. So if you go get the PowerPoints on Ernest Hemingway and William Faulkner, they will be very, very helpful to you this week. Barn Burning is a piece that we're going to read again, and it's in the text. So I need you to read this piece. It's very dark and mysterious. You wouldn't think, but it's odd. And then the two pieces instructed from Hemingway, A Clean and Well-Lighted Place and The Killers. Now these PowerPoints are set up thematically, and as you've noticed, the blog is also featuring themes. It's always good to work in themes with literature because they are interchangeable. You can agree or disagree with certain themes within the literature. Now, I'm going to go to the Ernest Hemingway PowerPoint for a minute because I want to talk to you a little bit about the history that's going on at this point in time. The historical time frame and historical events really play a big part in Hemingway and Faulkner's work. So, I'm going to go to the second slide of the PowerPoint. The Hemingway PowerPoint. All right, and let me get my board as well because I want to explain a couple things. Hemingway is part, and I guess you can say Faulkner as well because they're grouped together. F. Scott Fitzgerald is also in this category. For those of you who are reading The Great Gatsby, Fitzgerald fits in perfectly here. So many times you'll see Hemingway, Faulkner, and Fitzgerald coupled together in this section of American literature. Now, let's look at history a little bit. And as I showed you before, you have this slide on your PowerPoint. We're looking at the lost generation, and you can research some of this on your own. It is very interesting. We're looking at the end of World War I, 1919, till 1940, which is pretty much into World War II, all right, called the Lost Generation. They're also called the Expatriates. I'll put this down for a minute. The prefix X, okay, as many of you know, it's Latin-based, and it means out. And if we want to get a little bit more technical, patriot, the Latin word for father is pater. So you have the patriots, or the founding fathers, or the fathers of the homeland, the patriots. A lot of American citizens, I wouldn't say a lot, but a nice handful of American citizens called themselves expatriates. They were very unhappy with the way America was running at this time, and they decided to go to another country. So they would go out of their homeland, their expatriates. And there were many of them during the Lost Generation with Hemingway, Faulkner, and Fitzgerald. If you like this time frame in literature, there are many other Lost Generation poets and writers that fall into this category. All right. Again, the years are from 1919 to 1940. And these people wanted creative freedom, political freedom, and just to get out of the current situation in the United States. So the Lost Generation, World War I, World War II, and in the 1930s, 1929, 1930, you have the Great Depression. So all of those big historical events play a role in Hemingway and Faulkner's work. So as you read, I really want you to think about the World Wars, the Great Depression, and just an overall feeling of America at that time. There are a lot of pictures that could be represented during this time frame. So if you'd like to Google some different types of pictures during 1919 through 1940, that would also help, and maybe put a visual aspect with the literature that you are reading. Okay, so history, think history. All right, let's go back to my board. In orange, I also want you to look at style, okay? Because go back to Emerson, Hawthorne, Poe, even the poetry of Emily Dickinson and the other poets, Frost, Eliot, and all those good people. Just as a side note, T.S. Eliot was an expatriate as well. He is featured in American literature canons and British literature canons. So just a side note. Sorry about that. So look at the style. The style of Ernest Hemingway is very, very popular. Okay? If you have to go back and reread and kind of distinguish who is talking where, you're not alone. Sometimes the dialogue can get kind of confusing because it's quick, it's fast, and it's sometimes not labeled. So if you need to go back and reread, that's absolutely no problem. So I want you to think about style when you read these two pieces, because Hemingway is very popular and well known for his style because he kind of broke the mold with this style back in this time frame. So I gave you a formal definition of style. Style is the way something is said as opposed to what is said. So it's the way as opposed to what. Okay? So think about that when you're reading. Okay? Style. Also, to hook back with your blog, we're going to look at themes. One of the major themes during this era in history and these pieces is loneliness and isolation. In your PowerPoint, you're going to see other themes such as masculinity, the loss of innocence, depression, war. So take into consideration all of these themes, and with your blog, you're going to generate a new theme to go along with Hemingway and Faulkner. So as you read, think of themes and how the themes are connected in the pieces, because you're going to support these themes with evidence from the text, okay? And then think about historical themes. So this all connects: the history, the literature, and the analysis with the themes. I think that's it. If you have any specific questions for me, let me know. But I hope you enjoy A Clean, Well-Lighted Place, The Killers, and Barn Burning. So again, keep in mind the historical element. Also, as a side note, The Killers is supposed to be a vaudeville type of piece that you're reading. Kind of like, think of Who's on First? That little short story where the characters go back and forth and they're kind of confused. Hemingway is supposed to show you a vaudeville effect with this piece, the style of vaudeville in The Killers. Also on YouTube, I've posted a trailer to the film version of The Killers, and if it's still up, I believe it still is, you can watch the entire movie of The Killers in black and white. So if you're into that stuff, if you really like it, please make an effort to go to YouTube and actually watch The Killers live. All right? So have fun with everything. I think I covered everything: style, themes, history, and I hope you enjoy two great American authors with Hemingway and Faulkner, and also remember F. Scott Fitzgerald is also in that group as well. You guys have a great day, and I'll check you later.